If you live in Wisner, you need to make sure that you are getting in that safe place if you haven't already. Winsboro, this warning is just to your south, but we still need to watch. Potentially, you may need to move into your safe place as the system's moving in. Sicily Island, you're also in that, and Harrisonburg. Jake, do you have an update?
No updates.
Okay, thank you. All right, so again, this is moving off to the north and east. This is 55 miles per hour, so the system is moving really quickly. Don't go outside and try to see it. You're not going to see it. You're going to see rain, you're going to see wind whipping around, and you're going to be putting your life in danger. So just make sure that you are in that lowest, most interior portion of your home, your business, wherever you're at the moment, and put as much between you and the outside as you can. So whether that's covering yourself with some blankets, maybe even a mattress, and just avoid those windows, avoid any of the walls that are attached to the outside. A lot of times it's the closet, it's the hall. Maybe you have stairs that you can kind of hunker down underneath or whatever, but those are the most sturdy places, especially bathrooms, because bathrooms have a lot of piping in the walls, and sometimes that can help provide just a little bit of extra reinforcement. Any new updates, Margot?
Same thing that I've said before. We are seeing the storm moving very, very quickly, 55 miles an hour, with hail golf ball size, 2 inches in diameter. And as you can see here, here's just a timing with this associated with this cone. As the storm's moving north and east, you can see Windsor 433. That's in about, let's check here, about 15 minutes. So it is still moving fast, so make sure you're getting to that safe space as Sheena and I have been talking about, because anything can happen, debris can fly through that window, get in that interior zone. And again, as Sheena said, don't go outside and try to see this storm because you won't be able to see it. It's going to be rain wrapped. That's one of the main things that these southeastern tornadoes, they are always going to be rain wrapped, so you will not see this storm. So make sure, again, you're staying safe. Make sure you are staying aware. We're going to continue to update you. Again, this storm moving fast, 55 miles an hour. Sheena has more for us. Sheena, what do you have?
I believe Jake has an update for us. Jake?
Yes, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning for Natchitoches and Wind Parishes that goes until 5 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
Large hail, damaging winds, and a tornado.
Okay, so again, this is the system that had a tornado warning earlier when it was across the river across the state line over in Texas. And so this one's been tracking north and east for quite some time. Earlier it was tornado warned. Once it crossed over into Mississippi, they decided to just go ahead with the severe thunderstorm warning. And basically there's a tag on here saying, a tornado is possible. A tornado could happen at any time. So if you live in any of these areas right here, you just need to be on your guard. Again, I know a storm moved through the same locations earlier, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are done just yet. So we have the one tornado warning that still covers quite a few of our parishes. So that is Southeast Caldwell, North Catahoula, and Franklin parishes. It looks like it's starting to push out of LaSalle Parish, so that is good news because, again, the system's moving so quickly. Wisner, though, Winsboro, you need to make sure that you are in that safe place. We have the severe thunderstorm warning that's probably going to expire here pretty soon. This one is over Caldwell back towards Wind Parish, includes just a small sliver of Jackson Parish. And then we have the other severe thunderstorm warning that is extending off to the north and east into Wind Parish. So these are all the systems that we're seeing that are severe warned. It doesn't mean that all this activity that we're starting to see popping up towards Union County as well as Union Parish, Lincoln Parish, Jackson Parish doesn't necessarily mean that this can't become severe, because there is a real possibility. We're still very warm in these areas. Temperatures 77 degrees in Ruston, 75 in Monroe, 73 in El Dorado. And we also have very high dew points, which is what kind of fuels these storms. Our dew points are in the low 70s, and they're just tapping into all of this warm, moist air. And that's what's helping to feed these storms as they're tracking off to the east-northeast. So we'll get another closer look at this tornado warning that we have. And again, this one will continue. It looks like they just went ahead. Did they put a significant weather advisory there?
For which one?
On the back side of that tornado warning. You notice that? Or is that the one from earlier? When does that one expire?
That's the one from earlier.
Okay.
Let me see. It looks like it expires at 4:30.
Okay, thank you. All right. So we got about 15 minutes and that one will be expiring. So we're going to zoom in here. Let's see if we can get a closer look at where this rotation is now since the system's moving. Looks like it's now in the northwest corner of Catahoula Parish. And right there, it's right there on the corner of LaSalle, Catahoula, and Caldwell parishes. It's just kind of concentrated in that area to the north and the west of the Harrisonburg area. This is going to be moving north and east. As of right now, It looks like it could be on track to head towards the Wisner area, so it is very important to make sure that you're in your safe spot already. Again, don't try to go outside and see the system since it is moving so fast. It's going to get there before you know it. So it's important. Just make sure, again, that you are in that safe place. Jake, you got an update?
The National Weather Service in Shreveport just posted that golf ball size hail is possible with the storm located in Roebeline, which is in Natchitoches Parish.
Okay, gotcha. Natchitoches Parish. All right, so this one just picked up the Jackson radar. You can see that rotation a little bit better right here, where we're seeing the different colors of the reds, a little bit of the blue, and also the green. So as I mentioned, we did see that some of that shear that was in that system, which is basically just the winds going in different directions, was upwards of 80 miles per hour, even 100 miles per hour when it was between the Ala and Gina area. And then it's moving off to the north and east. Still looks like it's holding that tight rotation. So it is important that, again, we watch this. It's moving quickly, 55 miles per hour. Is there any update on the timing with this for certain cities, Margot?
Just a quick update. We are seeing, extension 434, Newellton 525, but that tornado warning will expire by 5 o'clock. Winnsboro right here, 451. So over here, this storm is traveling north and east. So it will be on the outer edges, but it's still going to track towards your area. And again, this is a tornadic cell. This is a tornadic cell storm moving through, still moving at 55 miles an hour. Still a very, very, very fast storm. And we are, again, like Jake and Sheena and I have said, seeing golf ball sized hail. So this is a very damaging storm. Again, get in your safe space. Make sure you are taking the precautions you need. Layer up with, get in the lowest level, most interior section of your home. Cover your body with a blanket or a mattress. Avoid windows. The safest places in your house are the most interior section of your home. So find a bathroom in the most interior section. Get in that bathtub. Put a mattress over yourself, over your kids, over anybody there. If you live in an apartment anywhere in these locations, make sure to get on the bottom level of your apartment complex. Go ahead and make some friends down there. I know some of us may not know our neighbors. Great time to know your neighbors. Get down there as fast as you can if you're located in these areas. Extension, Jigger, Winnsboro, Newlight. Make sure you go to those lower levels, especially for those living in apartment complexes, because this storm, you do not want to be on the top level. Sheena, do you have any more updates?
I think we should just continue to track the rotation that we're seeing with this. It's about to be moving into the Enterprise area, if not already on top. Sometimes just because we don't have a radar, we're right between two different radars, sometimes we don't get the most immediate scan. So if you are just even downwind of this system a little bit, like this rotation right here that is between Rosefield and Enterprise could easily be on top of Enterprise because it is tracking off to the north and east so quickly. Again, 55 miles per hour, the system is booking it. And that also means sometimes when we have some fast moving storms like this, they can produce those really strong winds too. Even if there isn't necessarily a tornado there's a strong rotation though that we're seeing on radar. And again, that is just to the west of Enterprise at the moment. It's near the Catahoula Church Road where we're seeing quite a bit of that rotation. That's going to be heading towards Duty Ferry Road. And then it also looks like maybe Horseshoe Lake Road is going to be right there in that area as well. So very broad, a tight area of rotation between Rosefield and Enterprise, moving off to the north and east. This could be headed towards the extension area. And as Margot was saying just a minute ago, it can head towards New Light as well as the Winnsboro area. That is just to the north and east. Wisner, Sicily Island. It looks like it'll likely go a little bit more north of Sicily Island, but still be in your safe place. You're in that polygon, respect it, right? So as this moves off to the north and east, this will be moving fairly quickly. We'll likely continue to hold on to this tornado warning. And just kind of a refresher, this one on the east side now, which is the National Weather Service of Jackson tornado warning, this is in effect until 5 o'clock. So we have about 40 more minutes with this warning as it continues off to the north and east. I would even say, towards the Gilbert area, this one may be moving kind of right in between maybe Wisner and Gilbert. So it's just very important to make sure that you're already in that safe spot. Now, I do want to go and just kind of show you how warm it is still outside. Temperature is 79. Things have cooled down a little bit back towards Natchitoches where we've seen kind of multiple storms moving through. But we do still have the one severe thunderstorm warning that is moving into that Natchitoches area right now. So I do want to also zoom in on this system. Jake, do you have something for us?
No, not at this time.
Okay, just checking in. I do want to zoom in on this system just to kind of give you an idea of who is in this. Winfield is right on the edge of that severe thunderstorm warning. Atlanta is also included in that severe thunderstorm warning, and Goldana. So this is moving north and east. This is likely producing a little bit of some strong winds at times and also that hail. And so that's why it's important not to make sure that you are not outside during this system, because sometimes when those strong winds are going, and especially this time of year when things are starting to die, like the tree branches and things like that, there may be some loose tree branches that go flying because those winds are so strong, even if it's not necessarily, a tornado that's throwing that around. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of a strong wind gust for that to happen. So let's go back out and take a look at NELA as a whole, because we also have a few showers and thunderstorms that are back to the north and west corner of the region. I know that's been kind of a quiet area over the last little bit. And so I just want to make sure that we also highlight that things are still happening in all areas, even if it's not necessarily severe. We are seeing some heavy downpours towards the Union County area, Union Parish. This line of showers and thunderstorms is going to be moving in on that west side of Union Parish, Lincoln Parish, Jackson Parish here very soon. And, nothing is severe at the moment, but all it takes is a very brief spin up. And like I said, those areas are super warm at the moment, so it wouldn't take a whole lot. We're still watching the tornado warning that's to the south. We have a few heavier showers and thunderstorms that are crossing over into Mississippi now, just to the south of the Lake Providence area. Across it, you're starting to get some of those heavy downpours moving in as well. So just to zoom out, once again, 2 areas that we're watching: the tornado warning that still covers the northern portion of Catahoula Parish into the southern half of Franklin Parish. And then we have the thunderstorm warning that extends into Wynn Parish. So this is covering Natchitoches, Winfield, Goldana, Atlanta. Those are those areas that we are seeing that. So we're going to zoom back in to our tornado warning so we can get an update on where that rotation is now located. It's likely going to be moving pretty close, I would say, to the Winnsboro, probably just south, but probably getting pretty close to the Wisner area. So let's zoom in on that. Let's change this over to velocity. All right, so looks like here very soon it's going to work its way into Franklin Parish, still kind of right there on the corner, I would say, of Caldwell and Catahoula parishes. But if it continues off to the north and east like it is, Wisner, Gilbert, those are the areas that we need to watch for that rotation to move over next. So if you're not in that safe place, get there now. Margot, you got an update?
I just want to, give Sheena a little bit of a break, because she's been talking a lot. Just to reiterate, this storm is moving fast, and we are looking towards, Gilbert Jigger at 4:46. This is when this storm's supposed to pass over or near Gilbert. So if you're located in there, just know in the next 20 minutes or so that this storm is going to pass over your area, so make sure you're getting to your safe space. Along with that, we are looking towards 5 o'clock towards Swampers. If you're located in that area, make sure you are getting ready to get to your safe space, because in the next, here soon, 30 minutes-ish, we are going to be seeing that cell move over towards that area. Even if you aren't in this little cone right here, or I haven't said your name, if you know any of these cities located near you and you're in between, Gilbert and Swampers, you are making sure you're also in your safe space as well. And we're going to continue to see this tornado warning until 5 p.m. And most likely we will continue to monitor it as Jackson National Weather Service monitors it as well. The storm's still moving at 55 miles an hour. It has 2-inch diameter hail, which is golf ball size, which is pretty big. So again, make sure you are getting in your safe space. If you're located in an apartment, go to the bottom floor, make friends with your neighbors. It's a great time to do that. Get to the lowest level, cover your body with a blanket or mattress, and avoid windows. Even if that tornado or tornadic cell doesn't pass directly over you, you can still see debris fly into your home, which is why we don't want you to be near any windows. So, find a closet, an interior closet, find an interior bathroom, go to the lowest level. I cannot repeat this enough. Go to the lowest level, because you need to be there. That's the safest space for you to be in. Again, as I was saying, this tornado warning is until 5 p.m. If you're located in Jigger at 4:38, we're going to be seeing this storm passing through that area, so make sure you're getting into your safe place now. Gilbert, 4:46, make sure you're getting to your safe space here soon in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Swampers, 5 o'clock. Now, that's when this warning ends, but still you're going to want to be ready and be prepared to be in your safe space, because this warning could continue as we head further and closer to 5 o'clock. So again, As I've said before, get in your safe space. Make sure that you are paying attention if you're located in these areas in this cone, because this storm is moving fast at 55 miles an hour northeast, all right? Now, Sheena, do you have anything else to add?
I just wanted to relay some information, and that is after this rotation kind of moves out of your area, and if you do happen to have either wind damage or potential tornado damage, please send those in to us, those reports. We want the location, the approximate time that it happened. The reason that we ask for these is not because, we want to see, what happened, but it's more because we pass on this information to the National Weather Service, and they use this as kind of a verification process for the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather outlooks. So a lot of this right here is happening kind of right near where that moderate level 4 outlook was issued. And if we do potentially have a tornado that tracks through that, this helps them verify, okay, this is where we were seeing all the ingredients come together, and it panned out like the forecast showed. So this is why we ask for those storm reports. We also have a photo community on Facebook, and if you haven't joined it yet, it's a fun place to be whenever we don't have severe weather. You get to look at some pretty fall pictures and nice nature, and also beautiful pictures of the sky. Who doesn't love a nice sunset? But we do want you to make sure that you pass along any of those damage reports, because it also helps the National Weather Service go out and survey the damage. They can determine whether or not it was just wind, or maybe it was an EF0 or an EF1. So it is very important in that process, and we want you involved in that process. So just make sure to give us the location, the kind of damage that you're seeing, whether maybe it's some trees snapped, maybe some siding came off of your house, maybe some shingles blew off your roof, anything like that, we want to know what it is. So right now, that rotation still looks like it's pretty close to moving through that South Franklin Parish area. So Winsboro, Gilbert, looks like they just let the warning expire on the backside. So Caldwell, LaSalle parishes, you are in the clear for right now. Now we're still watching the other severe thunderstorm warning that's back to the south and west. Jake, what you got?
There is a tornado warning coming up north of Provinceville.
Okay, so that is the severe thunderstorm warning that we have been talking about. This is the one that moved through. We already had this other system. This one right here was the same one that produced the tornado warning back towards the Natchitoches area earlier. And so that's what we are seeing again. So let me get out and get a better view of this system. Let's see, let's do Neela. Okay, so this one right here, this is the one that they're saying this one's going to go tornado warned here very soon. It's not there yet, but they're getting it out. So Natchitoches is included in that. Winfield is going to be, or excuse me, not Winfield. Yes, Winfield is included in that, as well as likely Atlanta and Godana. So those are all of the areas. They'll probably throw that tornado warning just right there on the top of that system. Jake, what do you got?
There are reports coming in as the storm has been moving through Natchitoches that it has been producing golf ball size hail.
Which one, Natchitoches?
Yes.
Okay, so over the Natchitoches area, some golf ball size hail has been associated with this severe thunderstorm warning. And Mark, can you just give me a quick update? How long is this tornado warning in effect for?
So this tornado warning is in effect until 5:15. I'm just trying to get this line right here,
no worries,
cone fixed, and then I will move out of the way. So if you are located in this area, that's the tornado warning. It's until 5:15 p.m. this evening. If you're located in Cruz, that tornado is going to be there at 5:51. So if you're located in that area, get in your safe space right now. If you're in Wheeling, it will be there at 4:59. If you're at Atlanta, 5:10. And Calvin, 5:16. Clara, 5:20. So if you're located in these areas, just know this is the timing, right around the timing that this storm should pass over your area. This is where the cone is going, north and east. It's moving at 35 miles an hour with golf ball sized hail. You said, right, Jake?
Yes.
Golf ball sized hail. So this has damaging hail, damaging wind. So, and again, tornado reported by radar. So make sure if you're located in Provinceville that you are moving to your safe space. You better be in your safe space right now, honestly. And Cruz, get in your safe space right now. Wheeling, get in your safe space right now. Sheena, do you want to look at the velocity signature?
Yeah, let's check in on where we're seeing some of the tidal rotation with this system. As of right now, it looks like it is just to the west of Natchez, Louisiana. So it's kind of between Natchez and Provincial. I'm not really sure exactly how to say that, so I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But this is also going to be south of the Natchitoches area. So this one is going just, I would say, a tad bit more south compared to the tornado warning that moved through earlier. But as Margot was is mentioning, this does include Atlanta. It could potentially be extended towards the Winfield area. So if you're in Winfield, don't need to take the safe place just yet, but you need to be ready. You need to be able to move to that safe place as soon as possible. Atlanta, you should already be in yours. Montgomery, you should already be in your area as well. And then again, this is moving off to the north and east. I think Margot said at 35 miles per hour. So this one's a little bit slower than the other tornado warning that we are watching over the Franklin Parish area. So we're going to zoom back out and let's go check out that area of rotation just so we can get a quick update. Yeah, Margot?
That storm that we were looking at earlier before this tornado warning that's lasting until 5:15, the one that's lasting until 5 o'clock closer to Gilbert, Swampers, New Light, that storm is now moving at 35 miles an hour. It still has golf ball size hail associated with it, but it has slowed down just a bit. Now, just make sure that we are sticking with it as we head further into this evening. If you're located in Jigger, Gilbert, I am so sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but Jigger, Gilbert, 441, Gilbert, 449. So if you're located in these areas, also be in your safe space. We are looking at 2 tornadoes in our area, one on the southeastern side of the Arklamis and one on the southwestern side of the Arklamis. You can see here again, Gilbert, Swampers, New Light. It's until 5 o'clock. Right now it is 4:31. We still have 30 minutes left on this storm until it expires. And again, like I said, this most likely will continue to extend even north and east as we head further into this evening. Sheena, do you have more on the storm that's located in the southwest portion?
I'm still watching. I was going to jump over to the one that we do have in Franklin. I want to point out where that rotation is now. It looks like it's just on the west side of the Gilbert and Wisner area. So again, make sure you're still in that safe place. This warning still goes in effect for at least the next 28 minutes. So until that rotation clears on out of your area, continue to stay in that safe spot. Hopefully you have that weather radio or your phone or whatever you can do to stream our coverage from your safe place. You don't want to be out in the living room watching the TV unless that, the living room is the most interior place of your business or your home, excuse me. Now, as for the velocity, let's check on that because again, this shows us where that rotation is located within the system. And it does still look like it is just to the west of the Gilbert area. It looks like it's a little bit more northerly of the tornado warning. So it is kind of staying away from the Sicily Island area, but still make sure you're in that safe spot for, the next 28 minutes. That way we can get this active weather cleared on out, but we still have to watch the other tornado warning that is just to the back southwest side of this system. So we're going to go back. Let's look at NELA. Let's see what we have going on around the region. Gilbert, Wisner, make sure you are in those safe places. Atlanta, make sure that you are in your safe place. And again, we're super warm right now, so there's no cold air that's really taken over with some of the thunderstorms that have moved on through. So we still have the severe thunderstorm warning attached with this system, but the rotation is a little bit more centered just to the south and the west of the Natchitoches area. That one's heading into the Atlanta area, and if it gets extended, it could potentially include Winfield, so keep that in mind. We'll hold on to this system and see if they're going to extend it a little bit further, but Tensas Parish, Madison Parish, be ready because there is the potential that this tornado warning gets extended a little bit further east, and if it does, it will likely include at least the top half of Tensas and potentially even the south half of Madison Parish. So that's going to be maybe just south of the Tallulah area that we see that. Yeah, Margot?
I just want to take it back to Wynn Parish real fast just to show the timing for those located in those cities. If you're in Luella, get in your safe zone now. It will be there at 4:42 and it is currently 4:34. So get in your safe space now. It's better to be there now and early on, plan ahead. If you're in Wheeling, 4:55, Atlanta, 5:05, and this tornado warning's until 5:15 and most likely will carry over as we head further in Wynn Parish. Now make sure again, you are staying vigilant. Take your phones into your safe space. Get on our app to be able to watch what's going on so we can continue to update you. If you're in Provincell, you are in you're in the clear right now, so you're fine. As of now, we are going to still see more storm systems move through the area. But again, this tornado warning on the southwest side in Wynn Parish is lasting until 5:15. It is traveling at 35 miles an hour, and it has golf ball sized hail associated with. So again, Luella, 442, get in your safe space now. Wheeling, 455, start getting to your safe space. In Atlanta, get in your safe space here soon as well. Sheena, would you like to check back at something else?
I want to get an update from Jake really quickly. Has there been any talk about the tornado warning that's over Franklin and Cudahy parishes? I know they just issued that severe thunderstorm warning. Are they going to go with that once the 5 o'clock rolls around? Or are we still watching this rotation? Do you know?
There's not been any mention whether they're continuing to watch it or not, but as you said, that severe thunderstorm warning continues until 5.
Okay, and can you give me the tag really fast on that thunderstorm warning? Is it mainly for the wind and the hail?
Yes, we're looking at winds in excess of 60 and up to 1-inch hail.
Okay, thank you. So that is, again, winds in excess of 60 miles per hour with this system. They kind of put it on top of where that tornado warning is located. The tornado warning is going to expire in the next 25 minutes unless they decide to extend it into the Madison and Tensas Parish areas. So let's get another quick look. Maybe they're seeing with this system that the velocity is starting to wind down just a bit. And so we'll change this over to velocity. Also need to watch, they're starting to post some significant weather advisories back off in Texas. So we kind of have this whole line right here that's just stretched all the way up towards Mississippi. It's been kind of capable of producing tornadoes, very sporadic, and they just kind of pop up and pulse up wherever they want. So that's why it's so important to just be ready. Anytime a tornado watch itself is issued, you want to be close to your safe spot. That way, when a warning is issued, you can take action immediately. So we're going to zoom in on this area of rotation that is just moving through the Franklin Parish area. And that way we can get a little bit of a closer look. So it looks like that rotation is south of the Winnsboro area. And we are, again, in a radar gap for a lot of our region. So what that means is that by the time the National Weather Service of Shreveport radar beams are reaching this area, it's likely that it's, quite a few hundred feet above the ground. And Jackson, it's just about the same. We're kind of on the edge of both of those radars. So it is a little bit harder to get that surface picture from this system. But even just knowing that that rotation is at some of the upper levels of the atmosphere, sometimes, it translates to what's happening at the surface, maybe even just some strong winds. But this rotation has been fairly tight from the moment that it moved through between Alla and Gina. Jake and I were actually talking about this system before it went tornado warned because it was kind of showing signs of that strengthening, and it has held together all the way off to the north and east, now just on the west side of Wisner. So if you are in Wisner, that rotation is going to be moving overhead any time now, especially since the system's moving so quickly, 55 miles per hour off to the north and east. And it may split, may go just between Gilbert and Wisner, but these are the two areas that we really need to watch at the moment. And again, that will move off to the north and east. Yes, Margot?
Just to update, so that rotation is heading towards Wisner. So if you're located in Wisner, it's looking like it will be there at 441, which is here in the next couple of minutes. So get to your safe space right now. And we're still seeing golf ball size hail according to the reports on National Weather Service. If you're in Griffin, 451. If you're in Laurelene, 455, and New Light, 505. Now this tornado warning is until 5 p.m., but again, it most likely will get extended.
Yeah, we'll keep watching it, and especially if that rotation holds together, then they will continue to downwind, move that warning off to the east. So that's going to be potentially for maybe even all of Tensas Parish, but at least that northern half of Tensas Parish and the southern half of Madison Parish, which is going to be for areas south of I-20. So Tallulah might not be in that if they do extend it, but be on guard, be ready just in case they do decide to extend it a little bit further off to the north and east. So this rotation right now moving into the Wisner and the Gilbert area. We're also still watching the rotation that is back off to the south and west. So we're actually going to get a little bit of a closer look on this system and see just an update on where we are seeing the strongest rotation with the one that is down towards the Wynn Parish area. So let's zoom in on this one. And again, that one is headed towards the Atlanta area. It still looks like the rotation there is a little bit more broad in nature. It's not as tight as the system that we are seeing in Franklin, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a tornado there. So this is going to be heading off to the north and east towards Atlanta. If it gets extended, it will head towards Winfield. I believe that this tornado warning is in effect until 5:15. Is that correct, Margot?
That is correct. We are seeing that tornado in effect till 5:15.
And the severe thunderstorm warning?
Yeah, that severe thunderstorm warning is until as well as 5:15.
Okay, gotcha. So both of these are in effect until 5:15. It is currently 4:39. So we'll be watching both of these systems as they move off to the north and east. Now, the tornado warning itself is a little bit more concentrated. That's mainly because they're watching that area of rotation. But everyone that is in the severe thunderstorm warning, you still could see some strong winds up to 60, 70 miles per hour. So just because you're not in the tornado warning doesn't necessarily mean you're in the clear. Some of these wind gusts could still be strong enough that they, topple over a tree, or maybe they cause a little bit of damage to the shingles on your roof, anything like that. So it's just important, if you are in that severe thunderstorm warning, or especially in that tornado warning, to make sure you take your safe place and that you stay there until this is expired. Or if we kind of if we see that that rotation is now tracked off to the east, then we'll kind of give you the heads up, hey, you're in the clear. But I also wanted to point out just really quickly, again, it is pretty warm. Things are cooling down towards Natchitoches area, but I wanted to point out the storms that are still firing up back behind this. So we're starting to see, a special weather statement, significant weather advisory back in Texas. This is the same area where we had that tornado producing storm. It then crossed over into Louisiana, and it kept on as a severe thunderstorm warning, and now it's here. Now it's over the near the Natchitoches area, near the Atlanta area, headed towards Winfield. So we're not really done yet. This is why I said multiple rounds of storms are expected today. Just because one storm already rolled through doesn't necessarily mean that you're done and we're calling it quits, right? So this is a different kind of storm mode than what we're used to. A lot of times when we have a strong cold front that's going to be tracking in, it's associated with a more squall-like feature, which is a very long line of thunderstorms that's expected. But today, we're seeing more of what we call supercells, which are these storms that are popping up kind of more so by themselves. When that happens, they have that potential to rotate a little bit more. Sometimes the tornadoes that are produced from these systems are a little bit stronger. And also sometimes they stay on the ground for a little bit longer. That's why we've been tracking these storms for quite some time now. So we're still watching the tornado warning that is over Franklin Parish as well as North Catahoula. And we're also still watching the tornado warning that is in the Wynn Parish area. So Wisner, Gilbert, you need to be in that safe place right now. It's likely that that rotation is on top of you. Still waiting to get word on if they decide to kind of extend this a little bit further off to the east. But Tensas, Madison Parish, if you live anywhere in either of those parishes, just be on guard and ready. Margo, you got an update?
Just to look deeper at that track of that tornado in that specific parish, we are seeing Gilbert right now. It's probably on top of you. You better be in your safe space. If you're in Lorleen, 455, so it's heading your way just soon, and it's traveling north and east. So it's tracking towards like Tallulah, Mound, Quimby, Wildcat. So make sure if you're in those locations that you're preparing, because we could see this tornado warning extend even further as we head further towards 5 o'clock when it should expire. Now, if you're in new quarters by 5:07, that's when this tornado should be towards your area. Wildcat 512, Westwood 517, Somerset 524, and Quimby 528. So if you're located in this cone, this is where this storm is traveling north and east at 35 miles an hour with hail 2 inches in diameter. Again, you need to be in your safe space. We cannot reiterate this enough. If you're located in these two areas, in the southwest and the southeast portion of the Arklamis, if you are experiencing these tornadoes moving through, get in the lowest most portion of your home, your apartment. Make sure you are in an interior section as well. Cover your body with a blanket or mattress and avoid windows. And as I've said before, if you're in an apartment, you need to go make friends with your downstairs neighbor, because they are in the best spot for this tornado to move through. You need to be in those locations, and you need to make sure you're being safe. Carry your phone with you so that way you can continue to see our coverage on these storms moving through. Again, as I said, Gilbert, you need to be in your safe space right now. Laureline, you need to start getting in your safe space. New quarters, get in your safe space. Wildcat, you still have a few more minutes before this extends towards your area, but you still need to be ready and prepared to move towards those safe spaces. Sheena, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, just to kind of circle back to what Margo was mentioning about, go and learn, become friends with your neighbors, especially if you live in an apartment complex, and kind of going back a little ways. I don't really like to throw it back, but as for when we had that tornado move through Ruston and there was the apartment complex, or I forget exactly what it was, the hotel, but that second story, right? That one was kind of ripped from the top. And that's exactly what happens. That second level, that third level, that's going to be the first one to go. So I know a lot of people around here do live in apartment complexes, considering, I also live in one. I know a lot of us do. And so therefore, you want to move to that lowest place. Maybe you can head to the office if someone is still there, but that downstairs neighbor, the lowest level, so the very first level. If you live on the third, you need to be down towards the first. Yes.
This is just to add, not to show anything, but it's about to be dark soon.
Yes.
We're about to see the sunset. So these storms are going to become more dangerous in the sense that we can't see them in person. So I don't recommend going outside to look at them. But again, we can't see them in person. Back to you, Sheena.
Okay. I'm going to circle back. We're still watching the tornado warning that's over Franklin. They have not extended it over towards Tensas or Madison just yet, but that one will be expiring here within the next 30 minutes. And then we're also still watching the tornado warning that is down towards Wind Parish, but I did want to point out some of that heavier rain, shower, and thunderstorm activity that is stretching over Ashley County back towards the Union Parish area. This is going to be moving in along the west side of Lincoln and Jackson parishes. So just want to zoom in. That way you can get an idea of what is headed your way if you haven't seen some of this rain move on through just yet. But some of that heavier rain is just to the north and west of the Farmerville area. This is just to the west of the Ruston area. It looks like maybe some heavy downpours near Jonesboro. At this time, this is subsevere, meaning that it is not severe, but there is that potential that maybe it picks up here and there. Maybe a little severe thunderstorm pops up in the cluster of all of this. And so therefore, just be ready for that in case, because we will continue to keep that severe weather threat as we head throughout this evening. I know a lot of times, sometimes, when the sun sets, we don't have any more daytime heating, right? We start to cool down, but that doesn't necessarily mean that our severe weather threat will cut off right as the sun sets. We do expect to keep this as we head into this evening. It's likely that a lot of this activity not going to clear out until at least close to midnight for some areas. So let's get on over to the Futurecast so I can show you that really quickly here. Notice by 7:30, kind of where we're seeing the most activity right now is from that Wind Parish area stretching close to the Tensas area. This shows that hanging around for a little bit longer, and that's likely. Maybe it clears off a little bit to the east. It also shows those clusters moving in closer to the Ouachita Parish area, maybe even the Morehouse Parish area. Things are starting to wind down the closer we get towards 10:30, but still holding on to a few thunderstorms that are in that southeast corner of the region, LaSalle, Catahoula, Concordia parishes. But I would say at that point, we might start to see our severe threats winding down, and all of this will be out before midnight. So the good news, at least, is that there is an end to the tunnel there. Now, one thing to note is how strong this cold front is going to be out the door tomorrow morning. Temperatures will likely be somewhere from the low 40s to the mid and upper 40s, and it's also going to be super windy outside. So we're going to go from these very warm conditions that we have at the moment, low, mid, even upper 70s, to walking outside tomorrow kind of, okay, where's my winter coat? So this is all ahead of that cold front. That cold front is still well back to our north and west through Oklahoma, back into parts of Arkansas. And that's why we're still in what we call the warm sector, or kind of the area where we see the most unstable air. So this is the tornado warning that we have over Franklin Parish. And I do want to zoom in really quickly on this system and just kind of check out where we're seeing that rotation still, because they haven't extended it, but I would assume that here pretty quickly, that rotation is going to be crossing over towards the Tensas and the Madison areas, because it looks like that rotation may be just to the north of the Wisner area. Jake, do you have an update?
Yes, I did just want to point out on the storm that is to the northeast of Natchitoches, it is currently moving north of Cruz along Highway 71, and it looks like it will be moving near the community of Wheeling, Louisiana. Okay,
thank you. All right, and I did want to quickly jump into this one. Again, this is what I'm talking about. This is that radar gap. We're kind of right in between the National Weather Service of Shreveport and the National Weather Service of Jackson, right here in the Winsboro, the Wisner area. But I've had a pinpoint, looks like that rotation may be just to the north of Wisner. Again, that's headed off to the north and east. It's kind of following this severe thunderstorm warning that we have in place. So if it does continue to move off to the north and east, Newelton, you're going to need to make sure that you're in that safe place if they go ahead and extend it. I would assume that they're going to extend it here pretty soon, just considering that it's getting close to the parish line and that rotation will be crossing over. It will likely go maybe just to the north of the St. Joseph area, but you may even be included in that tornado warning, so keep that in mind. And still, for those areas that are south of I-20 in the Madison Parish area, that's also a spot where you need to make sure that you can quickly get into that safe place. Let's zoom back out. We're going to head over towards the tornado warning that we do have in Wind Parish. This is the system that Jake was talking about just moments ago. And this one, of course, is headed towards that Atlanta area. Could potentially be extended towards Winfield. This one's moving a little bit slower. Yeah, Jake, what we got?
The Jackson office just extended that tornado warning you were talking about.
Okay.
It goes for Madison and Tensas Parish until 5:45.
All right, 5:45, Madison, Tensas parishes, getting that safe place now. We'll go back to that system here in just a second, but I did want to point out there's still a broad area of rotation that is headed towards the Atlanta area and potentially the Winfield area if this system gets extended a little bit further north and east. So make sure that you're still in that safe place. Once you're in the clear, we will let you know, but stay in that safe place until then. We'll go back to the one that is now over towards the Tensas and Madison Parish area. So they extended it all the way over towards Mississippi, and it does look like the Newelton area is included in that tornado warning. So let's zoom in here. Let's get a better picture. Newelton, so it is just to the north of the St. Joseph area. And it's really hard to pinpoint exactly where we're seeing this rotation. Again, we are in that radar gap between National Weather Service of Jackson and National Weather Service of Shreveport, but it looks like it's still pretty close to the parish line of Franklin as well as Tensas. So do you have any updates for us, Margot?
Just want to show the tracks, that way people in specific cities know where this storm is heading and know where they need to be located. So if you're located in, New Light, Griffin, Newelton, you need to start heading to your safe space, because Newelton will be at 519. So that's when that storm is going to hit that area. Griffin, 450, that's already happening, so it's over your head right now. You better be in your safe space. New Light, it's 504, so you have about a few minutes before it moves over, but you need to make sure you're getting in that safe space right now. Take your phone with you so that way you can continue to see our updated coverage over all of this. Wildcat, 5:11 p.m., that's when that will move over as well. And again, this is traveling north and east, and it's extending into Mississippi. So if you're located in Somerset, Newelton, King, New Light, Griffin, any of those areas, you're going to see this tornadic cell move over very, very soon. It still is moving at 35 miles an hour. This morning got extended until 5:45. Thank you, National Weather Service Jackson. And we are still seeing hail associated with it with 2 inches in diameter, and that means it's close to golf ball size hail. So that's a pretty big hail. So make sure, again, as we said before, you are in your innermost portion of your house. You are in the bathroom, the closet, you are on the bottom level of either your apartment complex or your house, because that is the safest place. And as Sheena pointed out in Ruston a few years ago, or what city she was talking about, you saw that second floor of that apartment complex got taken away. So that's why we tell you to go downstairs, make friends with the bottom floor neighbors, because being on the bottom floor is very, very crucial, because that is the lowest to the ground you can possibly get. If you have a basement, go to that basement. It is very, very safe to be in a basement. Now again, Griffin, you're seeing that right now. New Light in 504 here in a few minutes. Get in your safe space now. Wildcat, Newelton, make sure you're starting to get to your safe space as well, because the storm traveling 35 miles an hour, it's slower than the 55 miles an hour that we were seeing earlier, but it's still a fast moving storm with dangerous conditions associated with it. Sheena?
Thank you for that update, Margot. Again, this system moving off to the north and east, but I do want to show some other areas where we're at least having some heavy rain, heavy thunderstorm activity. And also I want to point out really quickly that the rotation is starting to move over towards the Tensas area. So right now I would say Catahoula, the northern portion of Catahoula Parish, you are in the clear, even though that warning is not going to expire for at least the next 15 minutes. Franklin, if you're in Franklin Parish, still make sure that you are in that safe spot, because that rotation is pretty close to the northeast corner of Gilbert. And we're still watching this system that's moving a little bit slower. So the tornado warning that is down towards Wynn Parish, this one's moving slower than the tornado warning that we have that is moving into Tensas Parish. But you can see that things are starting to ramp up and kind of pick up in the northwest corner of the region. So we have Ashley County over here with some very heavy rain and thunderstorm activity on that west side, and that stretches back down into Union Parish, parts of Union County, quite a bit of heavy rain right there on the west side of Union Parish and Lincoln Parish. And so we're also going to watch this activity for the potential of a brief spin up. It's not out of the question that, we don't see a spin up with the system. Jake, do you have an update?
Yes, I do have a quick update. Some power outages are starting to be reported across the region. Entergy in Arkansas is showing about 80 customers without power just east of Grayson, and 70 customers without power east of Rayville, south along I-20. But other than that, we're looking pretty good right now.
Okay, gotcha. You said east of the Rayville area?
Yes.
Okay, and then east of the Grayson area, which is, Grayson is in Caldwell Parish, that's going to be close to where that rotation actually tracked through earlier, because that rotation, it started to tighten up between Olla and Gina, and we saw it super tight as it moved right in between those two cities. That was right before they issued that tornado warning on that system. Jake and I were talking about it, we're like, that doesn't look right. And then it moved off to the north and east, has kind of tracked its way through that far northeast corner of LaSalle, up into the northwest corner of Catahoula and the southeast corner of Caldwell parishes, and has now pretty much made it to almost the parish line, I would say, of Franklin Parish. So this is going to be quickly moving over into Tensas and the southern, very small sliver of Madison Parish. So if you're in any of those areas, now's the time to be in that safe place. We do expect to hold on to this tornado warning as it tracks towards the Mississippi River. And as long as it's in our viewing area, we'll continue to watch the system. We're watching everything that we have around here. While I'm tracking this storm, Margot's in the background watching all the other storms that we've got going on. So we will have you covered. But we do have the tornado warning still to the south and west of the Winfield area.